I have 3 post All-Star break observations for the Denver Nuggets that matter for their championship chances. And I'm going to break them all down coming up right now. All right, what's going on, YouTubers? That championship chances. Say that 3 times fast. Tell me how it worked out for you in your comments, because I did not succeed. We're having some fun with it here in the studio, me and my guy Matthew. But I do have 3 observations that real matter for these Denver Nuggets post All-Star break. And I know it's only been a handful of games. They have a real test coming up as the season goes on. But can't ignore what we've learned over the last week or so since they have returned. First and foremost, and this might be the biggest one, it's in regard to Russell Westbrook. And the question is, will Russell Westbrook be able to keep his basketball ego in check in the playoffs when teams are daring him, a double dog dare you, to shoot the 3 and shoot open mid-range jump shots? Because that's what's got him in the past. He's hurt his teams because he cannot say no to an open jump shot. And he falls right into the hand of the opponent, whomever they may be playing. And now we've watched it in 2 of the 4 or 5 games post All-Star break that he just can't do it. His basketball ego wins that battle every single time. The defender's playing 3, 4, 5 feet off of him from top of the key. Even that corner 3 where Russ actually shoots the ball pretty well, a 50% clip from that corner mark. They still dare him to do it, and more often than not, he accepts that dare and loses by missing a jump shot. He was bad against the Celtics on Sunday. He's had a game where he took 17 shots because nobody else was showing up. It was that Lakers game, and he had 17 points on 17 shots. That's just absolutely too many for Russell Westbrook, and that's his old team, knowing that if we dare him, his basketball ego will win that battle. And what we saw in that Celtics game, he's just taking bad shots. He had a 3-ball from the corner where he shoots the best percentage that went over the rim. Like, if this is the rim, it went over and airballed on the other side. I don't even see that when my old crappy basketball playing friends play at the rec center on the weekends. So that was absolutely horrible. And I've said this before, I'm Mr. Russell Westbrook guy. I wanted the Nuggets to go get him. I thought he'd be a good fit for the Denver Nuggets. They went and got him, and he has been a good fit. But there's been moments where he goes rogue, if you will. He's an agent of chaos and will shoot too many shots or play right into what the defense wants him to do and shoot those open jump shots. Long shot, going to lead to a long rebound. Other team gets it. They're running in transition. The Nuggets don't win in fast break like they didn't against the Boston Celtics. So when it comes to Russell Westbrook, that's the only question, right? The dude doesn't have a down gear. He only plays in 5th or 6th gear at 100% effort and energy. And I absolutely love that about the dude. I think everybody should if you're just there to watch hoops. But when he goes rogue and he starts taking those jump shots, he's going to hurt this team more than that energy, and even his facilitating and playmaking will help the team. So what's Michael Malone do about it? Do you just trust the guy that he's a vet and he's going to come out there and give you energy, and you trust him on the defensive side so you keep him on the floor despite how much he might hurt you on the offensive side? What's Michael Malone going to do? Will Michael Malone, a little slap on the wrist, hey, you better stop shooting those jump shots, Russell? Or will he bench his butt? Will he say, sit down, you're not playing anymore. You've lost that privilege because of the way you are or really are not shooting the basketball. So of my 3 observations, this is probably the one that worries me the most. Russell Westbrook, his basketball ego. I'm worried that his basketball ego wins that battle. And if he wins the battle in the postseason, the Nuggets have absolutely no chance to win a championship. I'm a little worried as to what it looks like in the first round, if that's the version that you're going to get of Russell Westbrook more often than not. Observation number 2. Some of you, and I'm sure I'll hear it in the comments while you're there, comment, like, subscribe. We're doing some cool stuff here on Denver Sports YouTube. But has Michael Porter Jr. officially just become unreliable? Is it gone? The ship has sailed? You cannot trust in the kid? He was awful post All-Star break. And it was coming off the best 3-game stretch of his career, which we've talked about, 30-point games in 3 consecutive. And then he came out and had probably the 4 worst games of his career, bounced back on Friday night in Detroit. where they needed him. Detroit had won 8 straight games. They were the hottest team in the NBA. And Michael showed up and he showed out. He made jump shots. He was catching and shooting, making the shots that he was catching and shooting. When he dribbles, he wasn't doing this, just looking down at the floor, waiting for someone to steal the ball or throw an errant pass that turns into a turnover, which again leads to the team going the other way and winning that fast break battle. I think I'm there, man. I think I'm there. I don't know that I can trust you anymore, Michael. You've put yourself in this position, right? You've made the bed. Now we're going to lie in it together collectively as Nuggets Nation. You're just not who you're supposed to be. I mean, your name was brought up in trade conversations pre-trade deadline. Then you kind of get yourself out of it with your play. And did you just get comfortable? That might even make it worse. So you have that ability in you, right, to get to those 30-point games. And I'm not going to ask the guy to score 30 points every night. That's difficult for anybody not named Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But it's there. So we should see it every third game, right? You should still be averaging a double-double, and that double-double's 20 points, 10 rebounds. You have that ability in your body. You have the God-given talent to be that kind of NBA player. And if you don't do it every night, it boils down to want to for me, and you clearly don't want to. I've had several conversations with now former basketball players, and they've told me over and over again, 98% of the NBA can score 20 points a night. 2% of the NBA want to do that, want that responsibility. Michael's in that. He's in that 98%. He could score 28 points a night. Heck, I could throw Jamal into this, but this show's not about Jamal. I've done a lot of that. They can both get you 20 a night. Do they want that responsibility to get you 20 a night? I think I've officially hit it. Mike Evans over on the radio side is going to be proud of me because we've argued over this for about a year now. But I think I've hit that point. I don't know that I can trust in you anymore, Michael. I'm not going to have any expectations for you on the basketball floor anymore because it just lets me down. Then I want to throw a brick through my television when you're not living up to your end of the bargain. So I think it's official. Michael Porter Jr., no longer reliable or looked at as what could be a reliable piece for the Denver Nuggets. All right, the third one, this one's going to be a little bit better, right? Not all doom and gloom here. Speculation on my part, but I can use how they've given Aaron Gordon back-to-backs off with injury management, right, because of the right calf strain. And then we watched him miss the Boston game because of an ankle injury. There are 22-ish games left. I don't know the number right off the top of my head, but it's roughly around 22 games left in the regular season. So what will Michael Malone do? Really, what should Michael Malone do? If you had your coaching hat on, what would you do as the head coach? Let's say in the last 22 games, does Aaron Gordon need to play 10? 15, 20 of those games? I think the healthy number for me is 12, 13 of those games. And you know what I'm prioritizing over Aaron Gordon playing in those games and the Nuggets chasing a 2 or a 3 seed? They're not going to get the number 1 seed, but they could land at 2 or 3. And what I'm telling you is I'm going to be okay with a 4, maybe even a 5 if it gets down to there. I don't know that it'll drop all the way down to 5, but I wouldn't think it was the end of the world. Is because if the Nuggets do prioritize Aaron Gordon's playoff health over seeding, they'll finish with the 4 seed. They'll play the Lakers in round 1, and they'll beat the Lakers. But you can have an Aaron Gordon at 98%. And go back and look at the box score. If you want to watch the full game, that's a better analyst of it. But go look at the box score of the 2 games after the All-Star break. Aaron Gordon scored 49 points in those 2 games. He was the leading scorer for the Denver Nuggets in both of those games. You know what he was doing? He had lift on his jump shot. He was dunking off 2 feet right underneath the rim with 2 hands, yamming it on dudes. That's a healthy Aaron Gordon. That's what he looks like. If he's not that, they're going to be hard-pressed to get out of the first round. So I'm going to prioritize Aaron Gordon's health over the 2 seed. As great as it would sound, how much did home court advantage help these same Denver Nuggets last year in Game 7 against the Minnesota Timberwolves? I'll remind you, it didn't. They lost and blew a 20-point lead in the second half on their own home court. So Aaron Gordon has to be healthy if the Denver Nuggets believe they have a chance in the postseason. So my 3 observations. Again, I'd love to hear what you think about these. If you have 3 that are different or where you're at with my observations, is Russell Westbrook's basketball ego. Will he be able to keep that basketball ego in check? I am worried about it. Number 2, Michael Porter Jr., you have officially become unreliable, and no longer will I have expectations for you because that will lead to me resenting you, and I don't want to do that, my man. Number 3, my pecking order of importance is Aaron Gordon's health over the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. That matters. Aaron Gordon healthy matters more than the Nuggets having home court advantage until the Western Conference final. This has been Dover on Denver, and now I'm done.